So today we're going to be looking at the sport of MMA and how it influences our UPA community. What would be kind of crazy, it's going to sound kind of odd, but people you know here actually practice the sport of MMA, including Ms. Chen, Mr. Lopez, and student junior right now, Shrika Shantala.
The sport of boxing originated in 7th century BCE Egypt, where it was used in the Olympic Games and was later adopted by the Roman Empire, while the sport of kickboxing was invented in 1960s, where it was a combination of Muay Thai and Karate, and was later adopted by the United States in 1974.
Alright, so how are you, Ms. Chen?
I'm doing alright. Not too bad. How about you?
Pretty good.
Okay.
So, I've heard you do boxing.
We have.
Yeah, how often do you do that?
Try to do boxing about 3 times a week. And I also do kickboxing a little bit less than that. Well, I'm naturally a competitive person, so I would say my goal just in general is to always try to be better than most people. So every class that I take to show like combinations and stuff, the coach will ask a person from the class to come into the center to like demonstrate with. And I've gotten called out a few times already, so it makes me feel pretty good. Because usually the coaches call out people who they think know how to do the combinations well. You can get an adrenaline rush, I would say, from like, you know, hitting a really good combo that surprises the other person. But every once in a while, the person's hands are down, and so you can throw a punch and you, like actually hit their face. It's kind of satisfying. My worst experience was that, like, I was really unexperienced. I didn't really know what to throw. I didn't really know what to do, and I just felt really stuck. I just like shell up, not really know how to avoid their punches like effectively, and I almost felt like I was getting beat up on. So I did not like that feeling of like not being able to throw something back and being able to like effectively spar with these people. My best experience are probably just like getting compliments from fighters in the gym, or when I get asked to demonstrate combinations. That also makes me feel like I'm doing something right and like improving. There's definitely a lot to learn in that world of boxing, kickboxing, but I would say for someone who's starting out, try boxing first just because it's just hand combinations, and then once you get that down, then move on to kickboxing because then you add in the legs, and from there you can do some other stuff like Muay Thai, because then that adds in like elbows and knees, and then slowly build your way up to like other MMA.
Alright, so we're here with Shrika Shantala at his boxing gym, aka. How are you feeling, Shrika?
Pretty good and a little tired.
How you been?
Good, how about you?
I've been alright.
Just the feeling of how it feels to do boxing, like when I'm doing boxing, everything else like kind of freezes and the only thing I have on my mind is boxing. Every day I still learn more and more, so I feel like I've never fully mastered the technique, but I obviously have the fundamentals. That took me about like 6, 7, 8 months to like fully master, but I'm obviously still growing, still mastering and advancing my fundamentals and techniques in boxing. Inside fighting. I'm a long distance fighter because I'm taller, so I can keep opponents outside of my little like bubble / reach because I have longer arms, so they can't reach me if I keep my distance from them. Definitely being able to get into the ring and hopefully win. Definitely fighting for your own like victory is the most important thing, and I think the best part of it is you can't rely on anyone else for you to win. You have to put in the work for you to win, otherwise then you're just not going to win. If you don't put in the work, the hard work and the dedication, then you're just not going to succeed. I used to play soccer for a lot of time, but then I reached the highest level and then I kind of got bored of it, and then I wanted to do something that was more interesting and more fun for me, and then also soccer is obviously a team sport, and I wanted to do something that relied only on my skills so I could push myself to work harder. Definitely putting in a lot of work. Definitely waking up in the morning, like I had to wake up early in the morning even though it's a weekend. Just putting in a lot of work, dedication. I train 6 days a week, so obviously that's difficult to go along with school and stuff, but as long as I'm putting in the work towards school and trying to fit this into it as well, I think yeah, that's the most important thing.
So for those who don't know, Shrika actually trains for a long time. You want to tell them how long?
I've been training for more than a year. I think this is a year and like 2 months by now. I think when I first started out sparring, I wasn't that good, so I was definitely still learning. But then some of the people, they're like much bigger, so they definitely go a lot harder and they hit harder. So I think there was one time where I got hit in the jaw really hard, and then just my ear popped, and then like I didn't like hear anything for like a solid 2 minutes or something. So, and then it just felt like liquid was coming out of my ear. So it's kind of, I think that's probably the worst experience, but I've never been knocked out or anything, so I'm just glad to say that I haven't been knocked out yet. Boxing uses your whole body. You have to use almost everything, and that, not only that, you use a lot of strength. So when you're doing that, you definitely need to dedicate your time and your abilities towards growing and strengthening yourself. I never get bored of it, and I can't say that about a lot of sports. It's definitely a fun experience.
All right, thank you for your time, Shaker.
Kevin.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Surprised me most about MMA when I first started doing it was definitely the cardio aspect of it. I didn't realize I was going to get that tired, and that using your body in a completely different way than you used to, literally moving different, like on one side with a guard up, how tiring it all is. Seeing videos of other people doing it, and that's not even like I have friends that are crazy artists and stuff. It's just following people on Instagram, like all those guys in the UFC, and you see their job is to like literally be in peak human form all the time. And I'm like, dude, I don't have to be going that hard, but when I get home and there's nothing to do, like I want to go out there. I found myself, even the days that I don't work out, when I get home or just do something, go for a run, jog, hit the bag a little bit, I have like this little like excess energy that I don't like at night, and it keeps me up. It's almost like my body was like, hey, I thought we were gonna go like do something today. I'm like, no, it's not. And I have that, so now I'm definitely in the habit of doing something physical. Different confidence that you carry by yourself. It's just an aura, or like an understanding of like, if something were to happen, what am I gonna do? And you now have that skill set to say.
It's like reassurance.
Exactly. If somebody is gonna pop off, or they're gonna act crazy, like it's not gonna be hectic, and you know how to defend whoever you're with, whether it's your family, your girl, your guy, like who, like, and you know, like you have the situation under lock to an extent. Yoel Romero, who's in the UFC right now, and he's like 40 years old. So for me, that's saying like, that tells me the days that I don't want to go out and train or exercise, I'm like, there's a 40-year-old Cuban dude who's killing it right now. He's 45. So like, I gotta get up. I gotta do something. So that inspires me to be active. To be a fighter, of course, it's not only physical. It's having grit, and it's not letting circumstances control you. And again, related back to any students that I have too, being a fighter is not only putting your fists up, but it's keeping your mind sharp, knowing that you may not have control of whatever circumstances life throws at you, whether it's a personal tragedy or even something as small as a homework assignment you have for one night. It's knowing that you can overcome that, and your identity is how you deal with that situation. Your circumstances don't define you. Your failures don't define you. It's how you deal with that and how you bounce back. I was getting a little too cocky with my counter punches one time sparring with a much more experienced artist, and then he ended up kicking me so hard in the solar plexus, like right here, that all the wind got knocked out of me. It was like, stop. And that was like the worst. It's like you learn how to hit a bag and really hear that sound. And you're like, that's something I couldn't do 2 months ago. So it's just so much fun, but I cannot recommend it enough because of the mental workout that it is, not only the physical.
All right, thank you for your time as well.
Of course.
Thank you for that.
Beautiful. Thanks, Greg.
He hurts.
I know, you're like...